27th. At 6:35, we have a request for a waiver of site plan from the Sturbridge Country Inn at 530 Main Street. Following that, we'll have the town planner update, then old and new business, then adjournment. Has everyone had an opportunity to review the minutes of September 27th? Any questions, comments? If not, a motion to approve. Wally? Kane, second. All in favor? Opposed, no one. Very good. Okay. We can start now. It's not a public
can,
hearing. So why
yes.
don't we go right ahead with the request for the waiver of site plan?
Sure.
Introduce yourselves and let us know what you're planning.
I'll get the ball rolling. It's the dueling Kevins. I'm Kevin Rothschild Shea from Architecture EL. I'm the architect representing the well-known Kevin McConnell. So I don't know if you want to say any introductory comments, or I'll just do nuts and bolts and we can.
Yeah, just jump into it, I guess.
Okay. So let's see. One, thank you for having us. The application as a high-level commentary, and then, Gene, what does this do?
It's the pointer. If you push the
Okay.
button, it makes a red dot, so you
Okay.
can show on the
And
plan.
then just navigate to
Yeah.
advance. Okay, sorry.
That's okay.
I'm kind of lost without a mouse, but.
Oh, do you need help with that?
No,
You want
I'm fine.
Janae
No,
to-
no, no.
Okay.
I should be fine. So the basis of the application, we believe, is very simple. The Country Inn, as we all know it, is represented by a building whose history has always been residential nature, both in terms of the current inn as we know it, and in its earliest days in inception as apartments, and those have been changed and adapted over time. The simple portion of the application, I think, in summary, is to take the inn as it sits today, with 16 units or rental rooms, and modify only a minority portion of that in terms of unit count and square footage, and convert some of the hotel rooms into permanent apartments. So we would go from 16 rental rooms to 8 rental rooms and 4 permanent apartments. The inn portion or hotel portion at just over 4,120 square feet, and the residential apartment portion comes in at 4,000 square feet. We see it as a very consistent application, one that's also very important to Kevin and the sustainability as the rental market and the inn market and the influx of income and the economy and tourism in the area. This modest change will give him, I think, some stability to the site. We have more than enough parking. I think by count, only 18 are required, and there's 29 that are existing. And in this plan, you can see where we have designated the residential apartment parking from the inn-style parking. So essentially, the application for the waiver here or to make this adjustment to the use doesn't make any physical changes to the building, any physical changes to the site. The building is fully sprinklered. It's inspected annually by Building and Fire. Leading up to this application, Gene was kind enough to support us through a couple informal preliminary meetings with Building and Fire. We had some back and forth via email and PDF exhibits, et cetera. So that was appreciated, and I think kind of sets us up to present the modest scope that we think it is tonight. So how many sheets do we have here, Gene?
Looks like you have 4, 3.
This is one of 2. So-
See, you have, that one, if you go all the way
Okay.
down. Go to the next page.
All right, so
Yeah.
here we have the site, and which button is the pointer?
The one right on the top of it?
Top or the main middle one? Let's see. Nope.
Yeah, the main middle one, I think.
Oh, here we go. So here we are, just for reference, Main Street, the traditional inn structure here facing Main Street with its Greek Revival pillars, front Main Street. There's a one-story connector where the lobby is right now, and then the barn-style structure sits to the rear of the property. And then you can see here, we've responded to questions regarding fire apparatus and turning, and we've outlined how that parking and/or turning and access does work. Mind you, this is all basically a diagram representing previously permitted residential use. We're kind of splitting hairs a little bit between the current residential use and then the proposed modification to that residential use. So this is a plan that it does not change anything from what's there right now. And Kevin is really waiting on the success and the process of this hearing to do some permanent restriping on the parking lot, which has been in the works, I think, since summer. And then down here in the lower left, I think there's a table of parking which outlines the number of spaces for the apartments and the number of spaces for the inn, along with the 2 handicap spaces. So that, I think, covers that. Where's my advanced button here? Is it by tab? No. Wait, do I just keep going? Hang on. Sorry, folks.
You can
Here we
scroll,
go.
yeah, scroll
So
down.
here you can see there's an original survey on file. We prepared a site plan exhibit based on this survey, and we actually went out and field measured and showed some adjustments to the edge of the property as an adjustment to this originally filed survey. So this diagram only is a little bit updated or more accurate in terms of showing the edge of the property, some of the plant beds around here, the parking space, the kind of the ledge that actually naturally encroaches on the parking. But all in all, it's exactly what you've seen and you folks have seen out there for a number of years.
Before we leave that, any
Sure.
questions on this particular layout or anything?
Dumpster?
The
Is there a
dumpster
dumpster
is, let me see, I'm skewed here, hang on. The dumpster sits right in this back corner now, and that's where it remains.
Is it fenced in?
It's not fenced in.
Let me see, so then Gene's got my architectural plans.
Sorry, can you stay there?
Sure
for a second?
thing, sorry, apologize.
That's okay. Is this the flow of traffic as it currently is currently constituted, or is this different with the?
This is what's there.
This is pretty much
Okay,
what
all
was
right.
approved in 1989.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, to create this, we basically went from site observations, Google Earth, and what's left of the lines that Kevin's waiting to repaint.
All right, thanks.
So, and then the survey, of course, on the next page, but there's, you can see here from the survey on and the date on this document. Sorry, folks. So yeah, you can see the herringbone style parking right down the middle here, or the angled parking, and the pockets of parking here and around the site. And we've carried that through in our document with only minor updates, as, like I said, as it relates to the plant beds and some of the edges.
Sure. Yep.
Make sense?
Very good.
I apologize for my my mouse skills. Let's see. Gene, I'm going to try to minus this a little bit. There we go. So let's see. First floor plan. So we've color-coded this for simplicity. This is the existing footprint. In the diagrams that we're looking at, we're showing you areas and color coding to make it graphically easy to see what we're proposing. In these lines, we're not proposing any architectural changes, walls, bathrooms, kitchens, or anything. Basically, the in-style apartments that were there had small kitchenettes and bathrooms, and they allow for easy conversion by just opening and closing and connecting doors. So in this plan, the lobby sits here in the middle. This section of the building is the section that fronts Main Street. This would be the traditional Greek Revival building. On this plan, there's 4 units here. These will remain 4 in-style units. And in general, the approach is that the inn that faces the street will be the inn structure for the hospitality use. The barn itself in the back will be converted to the apartment-style living. So in terms of separation of uses, the building naturally allows for a nice clean separation, so the permanent apartment dwellers won't commingle with the the hospitality folks. So it does offer a good, clean separation of space, and it also gives me good backup when developing the areas proportional to the use. In the table on the top, which I think you folks have seen, that outlines the area per floor that we're proposing to modify. When you go to the second floor, you can see there's a gap in the middle because the connector lobby is only one-story roof. So now, second floors along Main Street, the same 4 units remain, and then in the back, this was originally 3 units, Kev? Or 2? What was the original on that one? Sorry.
So originally, there was three guest rooms that were all connecting.
And in this scheme, it just becomes one singular apartment where we convert living rooms, bedrooms, et cetera. So basically, the barn in the back ends up being 1 apartment per floor. Going on to the third floor, it's more of the same, except there's only a subtle difference. In the barn, the back section here, you can see the cursor, that ends up being a modest one-bedroom apartment in the back. And the only subtle difference is that on the building fronting Main Street, the third floor, actually via this connecting stair that then connects all the way down, allows us to use the third floor as an apartment, because it maintains its own separate stair all the way down the back. So if we take this stair down, and then when I page down, the stair keeps going down and by. There's always fire exit doors here separating. So all the way down to the first floor, it becomes an exterior stair, so we can get all the way to the third floor on that side. And that resident can have its own external entrance all the way up to the top.
I have a question about the second floor. The second floor in-style rooms. 2 of the rooms are labeled in Unit 5 and 6, and the other ones are private rooms. Are they different?
No. What do we say? What do we say?
Private, I think,
So,
Let's see.
so in
might
in
be
the
just-
main house,
unit.
it's,
Oh, no, that's just the word.
Okay, all right. All right, so they're
in the main house, it's rooms, on the second floor, it's 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Yeah, my question was the term private room. Was that going to
Yeah.
be something different than in a room?
No, it's an in-style.
Okay,
That's,
right.
honestly, I apologize.
Okay, no problem.
That's a labeling. So what you can see here, if we go back and forth between this plan and the plan below, this 1, 2, 3, 4 here.
Yes.
And then going up here to the one, I'm skewed, so sorry. This 1, 2, 3, 4 apartments here, this represents the in-style, the 8 in-style apartments that will remain in use. So that, along with a correction, page 2 of my exhibit has a errant typo, which, just for the record, if we need to, Gene, we could either read or strike it somehow, so I apologize for that. So page, no,
2 of the fire protection thing. It's called draft 1 at the top.
This is, that's Gene's.
Summary of the building code requirements, existing building code change of use.
okay, wait, okay, yeah, I'm catching up to you.
Page 2.
Page 1, it's not part C on the narrative.
No, it's,
this,
if you go to the
Fire, the building code review.
Yeah, the very top heading says draft 1, and it says summary of building code
Was
requirements.
that of the document that was mailed out?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, sorry, I failed to bring that, I left it on my desk.
Oh, okay.
But was that a document we created? Nice.
It was attached to your application. It says summary of building code requirements, existing building
Harold
code,
Cutler, I think.
change of
yeah.
use, Sturbridge Country Inn, Harold Cutler, PE.
Oh, it was the.
Safety, building, and
I'm sorry,
access.
yes. Yes, page 2 of the draft 1 summary code requirements.
Which has the wrong address.
The first 2 sentences should be struck from the record. I don't know where they,
Michael Lane.
so I apologize for that.
I think on the first page, it does say 530 Main Street. It's just
It
that,
does, yeah.
so I
Yeah,
think it's just, it should have been 530 Main Street, I think.
Yep, this is a case where to Gene's point, my code consultant probably recycled an
Right.
earlier document. So
Correct the address, and that's fine.
the Yeah, so I guess from where I sit, that's kind of the short version of what we're trying to do. We're
It looks very, very
very modest.
comprehensive, looks very
It's
good.
really administrative in its function. And, you know, obviously, you all know Kevin, and he's been in town a long
Yeah,
time.
we won't hold that. Gene, do you want to, anything you want to add, or?
I can just say that, to reiterate, we did have several meetings with the building and fire officials to review the changes, and all of the staff comments are on page 4 of the report that I provided. There are no major concerns. Obviously, they'll have to comply with the fire, building, and health standards. And other than that, we have no concerns, and I would recommend that you waive site plan approval as requested with the conditions as noted on page 3 of my report.
Very good. Any questions or comments from the board?
I have a question. I've always loved your property.
Thank you.
I lived in Fiskdale up on 148 for a number of years, and I've always loved the way that thing just sat there. It's beautiful. I think this is a great idea. I think it's gonna increase the income. It's gonna do wonders for your property and everything. I have a question though. As far as the overall, it fits the area so well. Are you planning on doing anything with the gazebo out front or anything in this thing, or painting the building at all?
So I don't know if you've noticed, but this summer we re-sided the front of the building.
Saw that, yeah.
And the sides of the building, it's all being re-sided.
Yeah.
And we just put on a new roof
Yeah.
on the building, and we
Yeah.
just put a new roof on the gazebo. And we just resealed the parking lot. We're gonna restripe the parking lot. If you drive by tonight, you'll see that we've fixed all the lighting that we used to have on constantly. And so it's like coming back.
I love it.
I've been there 35 years.
It's great. My wife and I always look by that. We've always loved the building, and otherwise, I'm glad it's coming back that way, Kevin.
So, I mean, one of the reasons I'm doing this is I've been there 35 years, and I'd like to have it. I won't last another 35 years, but I have a son that that I hope to pass it on to. And to make it sustainable, I really need some steady income that I would get from the apartment rentals, and so.
Well, you're absolutely
Great.
right. This is great. Thank you. That's all I had.
Fine. Any other questions or comments? Can I have a motion then to waive the site plan approval? Second?
Second?
With the addition of the conditions, right?
Yes.
Yes, with those, under those 6 conditions. Right. Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed, no one? Very good.
Thank you very much.
With it. Thanks very much.
Thank you, folks.
Okay, Gene, next we have the town planner update.
Yes, which, I'm sorry, I forgot to send you my report on the town planner update, but I do just have a few things.
Good night, guys.
You're welcome. I did attend
Thanks,
the,
Gene.
you're welcome. The grand opening of RLS at 90 Charlton Road. They still have some work to do down there as far as the site goes, but it's coming along very nicely. And they had a nice little grand opening celebration there. It's pretty cold in there. So, but the warehouse itself is pretty amazing, and with the racking systems, and it's kind of like the old college libraries. If you move one rack, all the racks move, but the first one's 18.5 below zero. Then we went into the next one, which was 35, felt like Florida after 18.5 below zero. So it was nice, and wish them well. I did my final inspection for New England Cold at 6 Picker Road, so that's all done. I'll go back in the spring. There's a few erosion rills and a little bit of vegetation that I'm not quite sure will survive, but it was a really difficult summer for people.
It is, yeah.
So they've done a great job there too. Condesa, the Mexican restaurant, is finalizing their designs and hoping to potentially go to design review on November 14th and then come to the planning board. It'll just be a waiver of site plan because we already have the approved site plan on file, but they'll come back with the patio designs and talk about seating capacity on November 15th, hopefully. And let's see, I will be out of the office the week of November 7th, combination of vacation, jury duty, and Veterans Day. And Janae will be closing the office at noon on Thursday of that week. So if you need anything, get her early. Premier Exteriors, that is right now next to Enrico's Pizza, is actually moving to 29 to 31 Brookfield Road. So you'll remember we approved George's Pizza to go in there, and that did not work out for them. So they've rented to Premier Exteriors, so they don't need to come back because it was a retail operation before. So I think it'll be a good space for them to have their showroom, so you can go in, pick out your building materials, have space to park, so that should be a good fit. For the record, we have no news on Cinemagic. We are getting so many calls, they are cleaning it out, I have no idea what's going on. They have given me no information, only to say, hopefully by the end of the year, they'll be able to release some information that they are negotiating with somebody, so stay tuned. And then Noble Energy is working with Mass DOT. We're actually able to facilitate a meeting with staff, state rep, state senators, staff. Charlie attended, DPW director, myself, and town administrator, and 3 people from Mass DOT, I believe.
Yes.
So they have agreed to work together to come up with some design alternatives and hopefully have something, they're saying by the end of the month, so we'll be optimistic that that will move forward, so.
What sort of design are they looking towards? A roundabout or lights?
They had them do 2 alternative roundabout designs, one that would start at Hall Road, it would be kind of a peanut shape, then one that would just be a regular roundabout at the site entrance, and then the third alternative is a signalized intersection. I think the issue is Mass DOT wants to study the entire corridor, but, you know, kind of our thought process in the meeting, and Charlie, correct me if I don't want to speak for you, but I think Charlie and I both feel like, let them put in the signalized intersection in 5 years down the road. If you want to change something,
Right.
have at it. But like, let's kind of get this show on the road. So we're optimistic. And then finally, the date in the agenda is wrong. Our November meeting is the 15th. We will need to continue the Stelmach project because of an issue with conservation. He needed to refile with them. So looks like we'll be continuing that until January. If everyone could please check their schedules, we'll send you what we're thinking of for January and February dates. If everyone could please check their schedules, because we're down a member and a new member cannot act on this project. So we want to make sure that whenever we're holding a hearing, we have all of you here going forward. And then we're looking at December 13th for the December meeting. And then Janae will send you January and February.
Good.
And then we have a historic preservation public forum on Monday, November 14th at 6:30. You probably all received the survey. If you could please send that to all your contacts, all your friends, relatives, neighbors, anybody that's in town that could take the survey, and encourage people to attend the forum. Because right now, we've only had one person RSVP, so
What date is that again, Jane?
it's a Monday.
Yeah, on the 14th.
On the
yeah.
14th, November
14th.
14th?
November 14th at Town Hall at 6:30.
At 6:30. And it's very important for us because, I mean, the whole idea of having this historic preservation plan is to have some kind of guidelines for, you know, boards and committees like the planning board to at least take into consideration things that might be historically significant in the town and prioritize what those things are, so that, you know, if a project can be modified or approved, you know, preserving that, it makes it a lot better. So,
I agree.
Yeah, so please take the survey. Also, paper copies are available at the senior center, town hall, center office building, and the library. If people do not have electronic means, and there are drop boxes there, and Janae's been picking them up periodically and scanning them in, so please take your surveys.
Yeah, the survey is really, you know, try to get an idea of what level of understanding there is in the community for historic preservation, and also, you know, to try to outline some reasons for trying to do the plan, and then see what would be important to people in that plan, understanding, you know, what is important in a historic preservation plan.
Yeah, I like the survey was very specific too. It was really good, so I felt.
Yeah, Charlie and I spent quite a bit of time on that.
Yeah, the first draft wasn't quite what we
No.
expected.
We do have a consultant. We did receive a grant from Mass Historic Commission for that, and then we're using community preservation funds as the match, but the first draft that we received from the consultant really wasn't what we were expecting, so we asked them to redo it, and then we did spend quite a bit of time editing that further, so hopefully we'll get some meaningful information from
Yeah,
that.
hopefully. It's good we're doing the plan anyway, so that's great. Very good, okay, next is old and new business. Dane, any old and new business?
Nope.
Wally?
None.
Sue?
All set.
Mike?
The only question, the location where the fix was going, is there a status update on that, or?
So there was an issue with the plan that, if you remember, you signed an A&R plan because the lender needed to see that the fix, even though Patels will still own the entire property, they needed to see that that parcel would exist as a condo parcel, basically. And when you signed the plan and the engineer picked up the plan, he never gave the Patels the plan, and then you voted to authorize Sue to sign the duplicate. So the duplicate came in, Sue signed it, they brought it to the registry the very next morning, and they recorded it. The lender at closing rejected the plan because the plan didn't show the site plan. And I couldn't figure out what the issue was, because when we pulled it out, it showed everything, the parking lot and the building and everything. But Jay Patel came into the office, he's like, Gene, something's wrong, they recorded the wrong plan. So I pulled it up on the registry, and sure enough, it didn't show anything, just the property lines. So I reached out to the supervisor. This was at the very same time that he was emailing me and saying they weren't going to accept our plans because we needed to fill out that new sheet. So I emailed him and said, hey, there's something wrong. The scan didn't pick it up. Sure enough, they rescanned it at a better resolution. Everything showed on the plan that was supposed to be there, so we sent that to the lender. So everything should be going forward, but it was just a crazy thing.
It's too bad, yeah, something like
Yeah.
that.
And I couldn't figure out for the life of me what was wrong, because I kept saying, we signed it. We have the plan right here. I have the paper copy. I don't understand what it is you need. So finally, thankfully, we figured it out.
So was that with the bank, the lender?
Yes, yeah.
There was a problem.
Yes, because all the
Paperwork.
detail of the plan didn't show up when the registry scanned it.
Now the lender says there's no longer a problem.
I'm assuming, I haven't heard anything since then.
When did you hear there was a problem? When did this happen?
August, September? Was it about September? Yeah. Probably about September. Mhm. So, I haven't heard any issues since then. And I did ask Mr. Patel to let me know if there were any additional problems. And he hasn't come in, so I'll have to assume no news is good news. So, it was a crazy thing. I've never seen that happen. So, bad scan.
Anything else?
No, that was it.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Okay, I guess we're ready for motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor? Very good. Have a great evening.
Thank you.